All right, history buffs and scandal lovers, buckle up. If you think reality TV is full of drama, then you clearly haven't heard of King Henry VIII's love life. While most people remember him for his 6 wives and that infamous rhyme, divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived, there's another side to Henry's romantic conquests that's often overlooked. Beyond the wives was a parade of mistresses who not only warmed his bed, but also influenced the politics, religion, and power struggles of Tudor England. So grab your goblet of wine because we're about to dive into the juicy secrets of the women who changed history. The many loves of Henry VIII, a royal player in action. Let's face it, Henry was the ultimate royal player. But in those days, having a mistress was practically a royal tradition. For Henry, however, it wasn't just about pleasure. It was about power, influence, and sometimes even revenge. Being the King of England came with certain perks, and if you were a lady at court with a twinkle in your eye, you might just catch the king's attention. But be careful. Winning his favor was one thing. Keeping it was another. The scandalous affair with Mary Boleyn. First on our list is Mary Boleyn, the elder sister of the more infamous Anne Boleyn. Mary was known as Henry's favorite mistress, a title that was as temporary as the king's attention span. Before Anne ever caught his eye, it was Mary who graced Henry's bedchamber. Now here's a fun twist. Mary was actually married at the time, which didn't seem to bother Henry in the slightest. In fact, it's believed that Mary's children might have been fathered by the king, though historians are still debating this juicy detail. Did you know? Mary was nicknamed the English Mare because of her reputed promiscuity. However, the real scandal came when Henry ditched her to pursue her sister Anne. Talk about family drama. Imagine the Thanksgiving dinners. Oh wait, wrong country and era. Anne Boleyn, the mistress who became queen. Ah, Anne Boleyn, the woman who broke all the rules. Unlike her sister, Anne refused to become just another notch on the king's bedpost. She played the ultimate game of hard to get, holding out until Henry promised to marry her. And marry her, he did, eventually. But to do that, Henry had to break away from the Catholic Church, leading to the English Reformation. That's right, one man's quest for a wife, well, technically a mistress turned wife, changed the course of English history forever. Fun fact. Anne's savvy manipulation of the king's affections not only got her the crown, but also led to the creation of the Church of England. All because she said, no ring, no fling. Bessie Blount, the mistress who gave Henry a son. Before Anne came into the picture, there was Bessie Blount. Bessie was one of the few women who bore Henry a son, Henry Fitzroy, who was recognized as his illegitimate child. For Henry, who was desperate for a male heir, this was a big deal. But Bessie knew her place. Once she had served her purpose, she was quietly married off to a nobleman and removed from the king's court. Oh, did you know? While Fitzroy was legitimized, he never became king. Instead, he lived a quiet life away from the public eye. Poor Bessie, so close yet so far from the crown. Jane Popincourt, the French connection. Before Henry got tangled up with the Boleyn sisters, he was smitten by Jane Popincourt, a French tutor in his sister's household. Jane's affair with Henry was one of his earliest dalliances, but it ended abruptly when she was accused of fraternizing a bit too closely with the French ambassador. Jane was swiftly dismissed from court, a clear reminder that being close to the king didn't always guarantee protection. The case of Catherine Howard, a tragic romance. Now, we can't talk about Henry's romantic entanglements without mentioning Catherine Howard, his 5th wife. But before she became queen, Catherine was one of Henry's mistresses, while he was still married to Anne of Cleves, no less. Catherine was young, vivacious, and full of life, everything a much older Henry needed at the time. But once she became queen, her past relationships came back to haunt her. In a tragic turn of events, she was accused of adultery and swiftly executed. Talk about going from rags to riches to the executioner's block. Did you know? Henry was so infatuated with Catherine that he called her his rose without a thorn. But as it turned out, roses have thorns, and for Catherine, they were particularly sharp. The aftermath, how mistresses shaped Tudor politics. Henry's affairs were more than just romantic escapades, they were political power plays. By choosing his mistresses from noble families, he could gain alliances, ensure loyalty, and control factions at court. But it was also a risky game. A mistress who fell out of favor could find herself and her family disgraced or even executed. In the volatile world of the Tudor court, one wrong move could mean the difference between power and peril.